So let me see if I can finish this this video, this topic. Um, because I'm just talking about it, so I don't really, as you may notice, I don't write scripts when I talk. I just talk. Whatever pops up and I want to talk about, I talk about. So, going back to the maturity, spiritual maturity and spiritual bypass. So there is really a difference between those two. It's actually quite the opposite if you look at how what most people may misunderstand about that will be like, well, stay at the higher vibrations. That means you have to be happy all the time. Gonna be pretend to be happy all the time, fake it until you make it. No, that's not it. That's far from it. In fact, the whole point being human is to be human, right? Like you want to experience life itself. Being part of the human is to be able to have emotions. So let me tell you this: when I talk about I can shift my emotions and recalibrate my emotions, this is really about like spiritual maturity. How fast you can shift your emotions back to neutral, back to balance, back to being grounded, like being now, being present, being aware, right? That's really, it takes practice. Practice of what? Awareness. Raise your awareness, right? Being present, being now. Just like Eckhart Tolle talked about uh, the power of now. It's not to get carried away, being distracted, or being consumed by life situations you can enjoy. So let's say if you, I don't know, if you won lottery tickets, not so much as maybe like a couple $1,000 from a scratcher, you should be freaking happy. You should like go like, oh yes, let's go freaking grab something to eat, or let's take a short trip to do whatever. I don't know, right? You're supposed to experience those emotions, being excited, being ecstatic, being happy, being just be yourself, right? And then if you gotta, like for me, let me say this: when I watch a really funny movie, I will laugh my ass off. That I will have happy tears, even like cracking some jokes. Sometimes I will have like once in a blue moon I'll have a conversation where I will actually have like happy tears, uncontrollable fucking like laughters. And then I will be one of those people who will like cry to fucking movies. Like I've always been like this since I was little. Okay? So just because I'm vibing high, right? I told people like you have to keep your vibrations high. It doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to feel emotions. No, it's actually the opposite. I should be able to feel and experience those emotions. Be a normal fucking human being, not like a fucking robot, right? I mean, even AI, possibly in the future, they can display all those emotions too. Who knows? Maybe at some point they will, right? They are getting more advanced already. But my point is, being spiritually mature, not bypassing a normal human supposed to experience. If somebody die, you cry. I mean, unless you really hate that person. But in a normal situation, if I lost my dog, Rocky, I'm gonna cry my ass out for days. I promise you, it's gonna be fucking difficult for me. Even though I understand what death truly means. But on the human level, I love this boy so much. This boy stayed with me since he was a puppy. And he's been my emotional support dog, so to speak. And he traveled with me across the country. If he kicks his butt, I'm gonna be really sad. I'm gonna be really crying. So that's normal, right? That's normal. But am I going to cry? How long I'm going to cry? I can't really promise you how many days I'm going to cry, how many weeks I'm going to cry. But at some point, even when it comes to loss, like grief, like the grieving process is different for each person, and also depending on who has passed on or what happened, what kind of loss we're talking about, right? So, but the maturity piece is coming in. It's when I'm able to process all those emotions now, feeling everything, and possibly even trigger some other older stuff coming from the current situation. Okay, trigger something that's older that haven't been addressed, and it'll be like, okay, then clear it out, work through the healing process tag along with the old stuff. Great. Okay, an opportunity to heal, an opportunity to desensitize, you know, all those old stuff that I don't need to carry on onto my energetic body, or even heck, even worse, physical body, because your physical body, your body cells actually hold, they do hold memories. So anyhow, so this is how we're supposed to look at when we talk about vibing high vibrations. It's how quickly, after I experience all those emotions, human emotions, how quickly I can come back to neutral, being at peace, being calm again. Okay? There's no right or wrong. There's just a matter of, like, let's just use the term management. How well you're able to bring yourself back to center. That's really where the maturity is coming in. Okay? Uh, Again, it is not about, if I vibe really high, that means everything around me will be so smooth, like smooth sailing, everything is good, there's no bad things happen in my life, life is good. You're still gonna deal with traffic, you still have to deal with like what's going on with the politics, whether you agree with somebody or not agree with somebody, it doesn't matter. You're still going to continue to co-create with, on a bigger scale and even on a moderate scale, meaning in your local community or within your family unit. Okay, you're going to witness and experience co-create the ups and downs. It's just a matter of how well you navigate through those ups and downs when that happens. So just because you're vibing high doesn't mean that you can mitigate or completely eliminate to the extreme that no bad things will happen in my life, or you try to avoid all bad things and bad people altogether all at once. That's what we call a spiritual bypass. Or you shovel all those human emotions that you're supposed to experience, but then you shovel down into a fucking shithole and pretend that you don't have those feelings. You're not supposed to feel those emotions and feelings because you're supposed to be positive, right? That's the toxic positivity. That's the spiritual bypass. Okay, that means you're not addressing the need to feel emotions, let alone. Or some people would avoid to feel certain emotions because it's too much. I don't want to deal with it. I'll pretend that I'm doing well, right? So either way, that's not really spiritual maturity. Okay, it's always going back to like embracing everything that you are, loving everything that you are, loving the journey, whether it's going to take longer or shorter time, the journey of itself, healing process, how much you embrace the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, the light side of yourself and also the shadow side of yourself. How can you make it all together, and that whole mix together to make you who you are as a human being, right? The soul in this physical body, the whole you, not partially, not selectively, to trying to control certain part of yourself and not to display certain part of yourself. No, that's controlling, that's suppressing, that's denying. We're not denying anything, we're not omitting anything. We're experiencing in the full spectrum. And still be able to come back to the moments of awe, like in awe, just to sit down and look at the nature, sitting at the park, looking out at the water by the beach, right? Some people like to sit by the beach. I love to do that. Just to be in the moment and be able to allow yourself to go through life at the same time, be able to be in silence and be in solitude. Everything.